Seeing none, I'll recognize the next speaker, the Honourable Member for Calgary-Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is a great honor to be here today addressing this House for the first time. The history of this magnificent building and all it stands for, the beauty of this chamber and being in the presence of my fellow members makes this perhaps one of the most equally humbling and exciting moments of my life as I deliver this, my maiden speech. I strongly believe that the next 4 years will shape our province into the future, and the roles we play on both sides of this floor will have a lasting impact on Albertans for a long time. Yeah. Thank you to His Honour the Lieutenant Governor for his delivery of the speech from the throne. I have great respect for him, the role he plays in our democracy, and what he has achieved. A member of the Order of Canada and a man who has spent his life fighting to ensure that other nations can enjoy the same things we so often take for granted here at home: safety, security, freedom, and democracy. His Honour is a shining example of a great Albertan, and being in his presence has added to the pride that I have in being a member of this Assembly. I have the immense privilege of representing the riding of Calgary-Shaw, which recently went through some border changes to accommodate the redrawn electoral map. Located in the deep south end of the city, Calgary-Shaw is now made up of 6 distinct and unique communities: Midnapore, Sundance, Somerset, Shaughnessy, and the recently added Millrise and Shawnee Slopes. The last 2 communities, Millrise and Shawnee Slopes, were previously well represented by the Honourable Member from Calgary-Lougheed, and I pledge to continue the good work he did there. In Calgary-Shaw, there is a tangible spirit that is admirable and infectious. During the course of the campaign, I had the pleasure of meeting with many great residents in the riding who have dedicated countless hours of volunteer work to building their communities. One shining example of this that I would like to share with the House is the story of the South Fish Creek Recreation Association. The creation of this outstanding facility is an iconic Albertan story, and it adds to the pride that my wife and I share in representing this riding. It is a great example of what makes Albertans unique: the spirit to overcome adversity, the willingness to give of oneself for the greater good, and ultimately, the understanding that creating a legacy beyond ourselves is what real great work is about. In conjunction with the YMCA, the public library, and a Catholic high school, a group of dedicated volunteers took their vision for a community-based recreation centre and created a facility that will have a lasting impact on Albertans for generations. The community portion was just expanded 2 weeks ago, and it has become the first quad ice surfaces in the city, and I had the great pleasure of being there to celebrate the grand opening with the wonderful people who made it all happen. There are countless inspiring stories in this riding, and in time, I look forward to sharing many more. Calgary-Shaw has a long history of electing strong members to this House, from Jim Dinning to John Havelock and the recently departed Cindy Adey. The good people of this riding have always been well represented. This is the first time they have ever elected a member from the official opposition.
Hear, hear.
And it will allow me to advocate for the members for the constituents in a different way from across this floor. I look forward to numerous engaging discussions and debates here, and I have confidence that many positives can come from this relationship as we work together to find areas of mutual interest and benefit. Many people in the riding expressed concerns during the campaign that affect and impact all Albertans: healthcare, education, and seniors' care. I think that we can all agree here today that it is incumbent upon us all to put aside partisan gamesmanship as we find solutions to these critical areas of importance to all Albertans. It is simply what they expect. Thank you. It is simply what they expect of their government, and why we, as the official opposition in the Wildrose Party, have stated that we will not oppose simply for the sake of opposing. There are a couple of local issues I would like to highlight for this House, and those are primarily within the transportation and infrastructure issues within the riding. The construction of the Ring Road in Calgary is long overdue, and I applaud the work that has been done thus far. There are concerns about the interchange that is going in 22X and McLeod Trail, specifically that it will cut off access from Shawville Boulevard to eastbound 22X, which is critical to the flow of traffic out of the core commercial district in the riding, which is also home to an LRT station and the aforementioned rec center, Y, public library, and high school. It impacts all Calgarians which benefit and use this area, but in Calgary-Shaw, it's in the heart of the riding, and it is vital to ensure that shopping, dining, or accessing entertainment or public transit does not become a burden to those who live in the community. There are also concerns that this interchange is one of the last to be built on the south leg of the ring road, as it currently is only a single lane flowing in either direction and will eventually create a pinch point. The southwest portion of the ring road is also of high importance to our riding, and I look forward to assisting the Honourable Minister of Transportation in any possible way I can to help put an end to the decades-long struggle around this piece of infrastructure. Fish Creek Park, one of the largest urban parks in North America, with a mixture of grassland and mixed forest spanning over 3,000 acres, is a source of immense pride for our riding. Roughly 3 million visitors per year enjoy this historic and natural preserve, and ensuring that the best practices of sustainability are employed to preserve the feel, atmosphere, and sense of tranquility the park has offered to so many over the years is of utmost importance to our riding. Now, we have a lot to be proud of in Calgary-Shaw and a lot of great ideas to ensure that we continue to grow and meet the needs of our growing population while we still care for our natural environment. Mr. Speaker, after you were dragged to your chair last week, you spoke with powerful emotion about your family and their role in your life. I am also very lucky to have a family that is very supportive and one that I wish to make proud in my role here. My wife Sally and my 2-year-old son Jude are without question the greatest gifts in my life, and I will always remember the passion and dedication that my wife put into my campaign to be here today. She is a first-generation Canadian, born of 2 Egyptian immigrants who came to Canada in 1976. And seeing the world through the lens of my in-laws, who experienced life under a dictatorship, is an invaluable perspective to be able to bring here and contrast our own government to. I'll remind this House that Egypt just last week went through their first presidential elections ever. Much was made during this past campaign about the fact that we have had one ruling party in Alberta for over 40 years. Similarly, former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak also held on to power for over 40 years. At least here in home, we can say that it was always through a democratic process that our governments have received their mandates. Yes. Likewise, we in the opposition have also received a mandate from the public, and our role is a critical component to a functioning democracy. Now, I have been asked to be the critic for human services, and I would like to thank our leader for tasking me with this important ministry. I have many personal connections to it, starting with the fact that I, along with my sister, are both adopted. We do not share the same biological parents, but the adoptive parents that we share are 2 of the finest people I will ever meet in my life, Dave and Sam Wilson, and I want them to be recognized here as well. It is said that friends are the family that we choose. In my case, I couldn't have chosen or asked for a better family. I am eternally grateful to my biological mother for her strength and courage at the age of 16 to make the choice that she did, and I believe it is what allows me to be here today. Yes. My sister Amanda has had many challenges in her life as she continues to learn how to live with an autism spectrum disorder. Growing up with a sibling with special needs was at times a struggle, but it taught me some of the most important life lessons, and I will carry them with me always. The strength of compassion, the need for equality, the understanding that just because our brains are wired differently does not mean that we are not the same, that we do not share the same desires, the same wants to love and be loved. And she is married to a wonderful man. Both of them are supported by Aish, and they share a special and unique bond. My wife and I are her alternate guardians, and this has us preparing for our lives to change overnight when we are set to assume the same responsibilities that many Albertans shoulder as they care for family members in need. Now, while knocking on doors, the one thing that struck me is just how many families are impacted by children with special needs. I could sense the agony as they strive to create the best life they can for their loved ones. Human services can make a difference for the thousands of families that go through these struggles daily, and I feel that my understanding and my familiarity with some of them will give me the capacity to work passionately and productively with the Honourable Minister to help fulfill the noble vision of this ministry. These past weeks have been filled with new experiences, and I am in awe of the traditions of this House and will be inspired by its beauty and the passion of my fellow members. Last week, when I sat at this desk for the first time, I had an unexpected surprise. When I opened the drawer to the desk and found those who had sat here before me, such names as Lawrence Decore, former leader of Her Majesty's Loyal Opposition, and Peter Trinchy, whose grandson Jeffrey now plays an integral role in our party. While on the subject, I would also like to have this House recall another Canadian parliamentarian, one who has been an inspiration to me as I embark on my political career. Chuck Cadman was first elected to Parliament in 1997 as a reformer. His primary initiative? To change the laws governing young offenders and protecting victims' rights after his 16-year-old son was randomly murdered in a brutal street attack. He successfully passed a private member's bill that resulted in changes to the Youth Criminal Justice Act, achieving his initial goal. Now, many of you may recall the drama that unfolded in Parliament in 2005. We had a minority Liberal government who was on the brink of falling during the budget vote. Mr. Cadman, the only independent elected, held the balance of power. A vote with the opposition, the government falls. A vote with the Liberals, they live to see another day. Despite receiving chemotherapy treatments throughout this time, it is rumored that he sat in his constituency office for upwards of 12 hours a day, meeting and listening to his constituency as he tried to decide how he was going to vote and what he was going to do. On voting day, Mr. Cadman flew across the country to fulfill his duty, and I'll never forget the image of Mr. Cadman standing, ultimately siding with the Liberals. That moment in time, when he stood to vote, will forever be burned in my memory. And I consider that instant one of the most pure moments of democracy that I have ever witnessed. When he stood, he defined himself a second time. And when asked why he voted with the government, he stated he was simply obeying the wishes of his constituents who did not want to face an election so soon after the last one. He lost his battle with cancer only a few weeks after that defining moment. And what I find so inspiring about Chuck Cadman is that he finished his political career the same way he started it, with honor and integrity. He fought for what he believed in. He fought for what he believed in. And he exemplified the ideal that our democracy is founded upon, that we as elected officials are here to represent our constituents, not our party, and not our own interests.
Hear, hear.
Mr. Speaker, as we embark on this, the 28th legislature, but my first, I will always remember why I am here and who it is that I represent. And most importantly, I will constantly strive to do it with honor and integrity. Thank you.
Hear, hear.